Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and Happy New Year. Sorry, it has been a wee while since I've been on, and had a couple of things happen. So fell off a ladder and dislocated my shoulder, so that was awesome. So I spent a couple of weeks recovering from that, and it's almost better now. It's still a little bit sore, but fortunately it's not an uncommon occurrence for that shoulder to pop out, so I tend to recover relatively quickly. On top of that, obviously we've had Christmas and New Year's, and I've also been trying to sort out something to do with my GoPro. I had a Hero 9 that I'd had masses of trouble trying to get audio off of, and about 5 to 6 months, and the camera I'm using right now is a Hero 4, and occasionally it just drops a whole bunch of footage, so I really need to get a new camera. But I hadn't posted anything in a little while, and I had actually done some work on the new V-Strom coming out prior to it actually coming out, and just what I thought was going to happen, and 90% of it did actually come true, but the video's out of date now, so I just decided that I'd try and catch up with you guys again today. The weather has been, this is the 4th of January, and as you can see, the weather's, well, the weather's crap. So I just thought that I'd get out and go for a bit of a ride, and because I'm just sick and tired of sitting at home watching movies. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I got hit by a car. I spent about 2.5 years recovering from that and had various surgeries and things. Finally gotten to a point now where I think I'm just about ready to go back to work again. I have a job lined up which will keep me travelling quite a lot. So this year my goal is really to make one video a month and see how we get on. I've got about 13 videos up in total, and most of those were done last year and late 2021. So what we're going to do this year is I've had some contact with some companies around the place, and I haven't been able to sort of get out there and test ride some of the bikes. So we're going to be looking at a couple of 3 different bikes I've got lined up. One is the CF Moto 800 MT, if they can get in a test ride bike for me. I'm really keen to try that one. I think that potentially it's the next bike for me. The next one will be the Moto Morini Escape, and so that'll be a good one. Another one will be the Pan America, Harley Davidson Pan America. I've had to talk to the Harley dealership, and they're quite keen for me to come in at some stage and do a review on that. So I'm hoping for those ones. There are other bikes that I'm wanting to review this year, and some of my videos are getting good views, so thank you to all of those people that are watching. Thank you to those that are subscribing. I know that I'm not regular on my videos at this point, and I'm going to try and make a point of at least bringing out one a month, but it is a very busy life out there, and I'm not getting to as many videos. I wanted to do one a week, but it's just not possible for me at the moment to do that. So I wanted to talk to you guys about GoPro, and I was told that the Hero 4 was probably the best one that they've actually released with regards to reliability and being able to attach accessories, etc., to the camera, and so far well, they're proving that to be the case. Although this is an old camera, and I mean bits have fallen off it, and it really does need to be replaced, at the end of the day I can get out here and most of the time I can capture the footage that I need to capture. What's ended up happening with my Hero 9 that I just purchased was that I basically wanted to purchase it so that I had something that was going to be more reliable, and also something which was not going to white out the sky, so that I actually had a better white balance while I'm talking to you guys. Makes it look a bit more professional, and also a bit more steady shot as well, because this bike, as good as the suspension is, you know, you still get a bit of vibration through the camera, and I'm aware of that. But I tried 3 different microphones with that camera, all ones that were recommended online, etc., and stuffed if I could actually get any of them to work. It was just popping, crackling. I have a some people call it a dead cat. So I've got a big fluffy thing on my microphones, and it tickles my chin while I'm talking to you. So I've got that sitting on my microphone, and I thought that I would have no issues with plosive stuff and crackling when I'm out on the bike. The air inside my helmet is quite still. I've got a big chin skirt on, the helmet's all sealed up, so there's really no excuse. And as you can hear from the footage on this camera, it comes out absolutely fine. But I could not, even with, I mean, you had to buy the media mod and do all the other bits and pieces, so it cost me $1,000 New Zealand to be able to buy the GoPro, and realistically speaking, it was absolutely useless. There was no audio footage that I could use, and the company that I bought it off of, and because I have already resoluted this, it took 6 months. Now here in New Zealand we have something called consumer protection. So we have the Consumer Guarantees Act and an organisation, a government organisation called Consumer Protection, which if you think you're being ripped off by a retailer, you can actually go to them and they will basically caution the retailer, or tell you one way or the other which way it'll go. I had to get them involved before the company would actually give me my money back, because the product wasn't fit for purpose. They kept saying, oh, but the media mod mic works fine, the mod on the camera works, the microphone on the camera works fine, so therefore you don't have to worry about anything, the camera's working good, and it doesn't matter that the external mic's working. And I kept saying to them, it doesn't matter if the camera's working well, it only matters if it's fit for purpose. And if I can't attach a microphone to it and get reliable sound quality out of it, then it's not fit for purpose. And it took nearly 6 months. It was only last week that they actually took the just before New Year's, they actually took the camera back again and gave me my money back, but I had to get consumer protection involved. So, and I hate having to do that. Like, it's something that, you know, I've worked retail, I'm a salesman myself, and I hate having to do that to anybody. But it was kind of a case of you do it or else. And so what's ended up happening is now I have gone back to the Hero 4. The company that I was dealing with was Noel Leeming, but Noel Leeming wasn't going to give me my money back because GoPro wouldn't give them their money, which I think is a really crappy way to do it. You're the retailer, you're supposed to back the product that you're selling. If you can't back that product, then don't sell it. If you're having trouble with the retailer, with the manufacturer, don't sell it. But don't leave it up to the customer to have to try and negotiate it and actually get that worked out from there. Because I was going backwards and forwards to GoPro, I was going backwards and forwards to Noel Leeming, and nobody would help me. So I've been a customer of Noel Leeming's for 24 years, might be 25 years now, since about 1997, 1998, somewhere around there. And this has basically turned me off that company altogether. I'll never ever use them again, and I'll never use another GoPro again. I'm currently looking at a couple of different options for my camera. However, they don't have as good white balance on them, so the sky doesn't look as nice, the colours aren't quite as rich, the steady shot's not quite as good, and they're about the same price or thereabouts as the Hero 9. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, guys. I guess I'm looking at the DJI, what do they call it, Osmo 3, and I'm also looking at the Action 360 Osmo 3 and the DJI, whatever their one is. So I'm having a look at a couple of different options at this current point in time. Both of them, the camera quality isn't quite as good, and I'm actually finding that on all the reviews that I've looked at, where you're using a microphone inside your helmet, that potentially the sound quality is not quite as good either. So it's quite a task. If you guys have got something that you're using and you want to suggest it to me, feel free. I'd really like to know what your opinions on everything are. So I'd like to be able to show you this, and the problem that I've got with this is that every time I look out over this beautiful terrain, it just whites out, and I'm sick and tired of having to deal with it, and it takes ages for it to actually compensate. So I really want to be able to show you guys what I'm seeing when I'm out there doing my test rides, when I'm out there doing my thing on my bike, and I'm just not able to do that at the moment. So just changing feet positions. I've got a bit of a problem because I've got big feet, and I find that the exhaust, my foot ends up resting on the exhaust guard on the back of this bike if I don't have my feet far enough forward. People keep telling me it's a little rabbit. People could keep telling me that I need to have my feet further back, and I was looking at Brett Tax, I think his name is. It's like T-Cax or something like that, Tax, who's a bit of a hero of mine. I've never heard his name actually said, so I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his last name. So if you're ever watching this, Brett, I apologise wholeheartedly for my lack of an ability to articulate your name. But he reckons mid-peg is fine for most things. So yeah, I'm having a bit of a problem there. But at any rate, with these GoPros, I'm telling you now, I'll never buy another one. I'll never buy another one. That backup service and support is absolutely crap. And I've had a look online, and they can't deny that there's something wrong, because there's a lot of people having this issue and a lot of people searching for solutions. Some people have found a solution for their particular camera, some people have not, and it's really interesting to see that it doesn't seem to be something which is consistent across the board. And so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but at any rate, I'm going to probably look at a DJI or an Action 360 or something along those lines. I want something that's really nice and simple to use, that I can just plug a microphone in and I'm not going to have any issues with it. There are a lot of cheap options which give you actually pretty good steady shots and things like that, but you can't attach an external microphone. And so I've got a bit of work and a bit of research to do in the next couple of months, and that I start my new job soon, so with that I'll have the money to be able to go out there and spend a little bit on these kinds of things. Oh, and that was the other thing, was I decided to finance it. I got the cash in the bank, but I wanted to spend it on some other things. I'm doing a development on my property and things, and I wanted to spend the money on that. So I thought for $10 a week I can go out and purchase a camera and do what I've got to do, and it's not going to break the bank. So at any rate, it took 4 days to get finance. It was 3 days initially, plus a 4th day to come in and sign all the bits and pieces. It's just been an absolute nightmare to be able to get that done. So I don't know if you guys are able to see this, but this is just beautiful countryside, and I really want you guys to experience that when we're out doing test rides and things. And this camera is just not up to the task, unfortunately, so I need to replace it. But I mean, the scenery out here is absolutely stunning. Of course, I have to kind of half look out there for you guys and then half negotiate the track here. It's not too bad, but it can be a little bit slippery where the gravel's all built up, so I've just got to watch it a little bit. I have a drone as well. I've got a little bit of drone footage here and there, but the videos are kind of defunct now, so I'm going to have to go through and do some more video footage of some more drone footage of the areas I'm in. I also recently found out I'm not allowed to fly a drone over the top of farms without farmers' permission, and as you can see, houses are quite scarce, and the farmer might live, for this paddock here, might live over in those hills over in the distance there, if he even lives on the property at all. So trying to get permission to be able to fly your drone around is quite hard, so I'm restricted to flying it on the road around these sorts of areas so that I'm not ticking off the farmers, and they do get pretty grumpy. In the South Island it's not generally a problem, but in the North Island I think there's been so many people abuse the privilege that the farmers have just had enough and just telling them to bugger off. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through and encountering at this current point in time. So we're stuck with this old camera at the moment that I may or may not be able to get the footage out of it when I get back. I want to get a good camera before I actually go out and start doing more news and reviews on bikes. Another thing is that, and let me know in the comment section if you're interested, but I'm going to start to learn how to fly an aeroplane next month. How's that? It's come up quick. So it won't be regular, but it will be something to add to the channel. It is 40 noob NZ. I look at it like this, guys, you know, I'm 44 years old now, and so, well, 44 years old this month, and one of the things that I have to consider is, you know, kind of really just bucket list items, and I learned how to ride a motorbike. That was a bucket list item for me. So I've been riding motorbikes for about 3.5 years now, so I'm still pretty fresh at it. I only just got my license late last year, full license. Oh, actually it was February last year. Man, time's just flying. So I got that last year, and so now I've done that, and I'm still going to be doing news and reviews on motorbikes and doing travel around on motorbikes, even if it's just weekend trips around the place, and just doing general motor vlogs. So this isn't just about reviewing them. I know that my reviews are getting, you know, between 6,000 and 20,000 views, but it's not just about that. It's about getting out and doing the thing, and sort of just demonstrating what kind of a life you can have when you're out there doing this. But also I want to add, as I enter in and do new things, I'm doing a little bit of snorkeling these days. I'd like to add a bit of snorkeling footage, maybe arrive there on the bike, pull out the snorkel and the goggles and jump in the water, and we can go and have a look at all of the fish species around New Zealand as I get out and do that over the summer months. I'd also like to get in and do some flying lessons with you guys as well, and it's really just about lifestyle and documenting the fun things that I do in my life. And I just want to know your opinions, if that's something that you'd be interested in having a look at. Just me tiki-touring around New Zealand and potentially overseas as well. I'm hoping to, at some stage in the near future, head to India and some of the surrounding countries and do some travel on motorcycles there. So that's kind of a goal of mine, is to get out there and do that. But also I want you guys to be kept informed of mainly, if I'm honest, entry-level motorcycles and what I think they're going to be like for beginners and returning riders. Here in New Zealand we have something very similar to the A2 licence in England. We have something called LAMS. It's basically exactly the same, we just call it something different. So we're allowed to have up to a 650cc motorcycle, but the power to weight ratio basically works out that most bikes, you can have about 50 horsepower, and that's kind of your limit on bikes. So I want to kind of review mostly those kinds of bikes, and I'm going to be looking at a few different things. So it's so pretty through here, guys, and I just don't know if I can capture that well enough for you. And this is only a few minutes from my house. So I just want to do a variety of different things. So it's kind of more of an adventure channel, sort of based around motorcycles. Excuse my clearing of the throat. So it'll be based around motorcycles. And so what I really want to do is just get an idea from the 135, 140 people that are currently watching me, whether that's something that you want to see. Did you want to see me learning how to fly a plane? Potentially crashing a plane? Do you want to see me travelling around New Zealand and around the world? If that's something that you guys want to see, hit the like button. If you have the propensity to subscribe, that really helps me out, and it actually motivates me. The more people that subscribe, the more motivated I am to actually get out and do these videos, because to be honest with you, it takes around about anything, depending on the length of the video, about 60 minutes to download it. Then it's about another 3 to 4 hours of editing time, even though mine are quite simple and I don't do the big, splashy front pages and things like that, with the thumbnails at the front and all that kind of stuff. It still takes me a good 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours to do that. And then depending on the length of the video, it can be anything. To export it so that I can upload it to YouTube can be anything up to 3 or 4 hours, and then to upload it to YouTube can be the same length of time. So you're looking at 10 to 12 hours sort of time to be able to get a simple 20-minute to half an hour video out, and it's taking forever to be able to get this stuff out. Now, if you look at the likes of Itchy Boots and people like that are doing it 2 to 3 times a week, they only travel 2 to 3 days a week, and then the rest of the time is just editing their videos. And it's pretty hardcore, they're spending 12 or 14 hours, and a lot of it is actually just waiting for the videos to compress or to be able to transfer through to an MPG file or whatever it happens to be able to upload it to YouTube. It's more time, and so it ends up taking forever, which is what I don't like about it. And then what will happen is that you go out and you put some music on it, and you find out that there's a potential copyright issue there, and so they dial back how much your video it actually gets in responses. So even if you're tracking at 4,000 or 5,000, as soon as you get one of those videos, it only tracks at maybe a few hundred views. So you've got all of these things that you're worrying about, and it's just a lot of things to have to try and do when you're already working 45-50 hours a week. And I renovate houses, and I'm doing a subdivision at the moment as well, so there's a lot of stuff on my plate, and this is my passion. This is what I love to do, and I do get out and ride more than you guys get to see. It's just that I don't get to video it and upload it like I want to. And so there's potentially some gear that I need to get to be able to upload things faster. Maybe I need a different program. If you guys are using a different program to me, and it's really fast to edit and what have you, and you can do that kind of stuff, and I mean, I have a solid state hard drive. I've got a fairly powerful up-to-date computer, and it just seems to take forever to be able to do all of this stuff. So if you've got a better method for me so that I can put out more video, that would be absolutely fantastic. But I end up spending 2 or 3 days sometimes, because I can't do it all at once, doing one video. So it's a pretty busy life. So yeah, that's really it from me. I'm never going to buy another GoPro again. It's the backup service support and basically the lack of responsibility that they take on their product was absolutely abysmal. Noel Leeming's another company I won't be dealing with again, because they didn't just do the right thing. After 24 years, 26 years of me being a regular customer there, they didn't take me at my word and actually give me the benefit of the doubt and actually go out and just do what needed to be done. And thirdly, none of those companies wanted to honour the consumer protection guarantee. So that made a really big difference in my life. It was a lot of stress, and it's the first time that I've ever yelled at a retail worker because they were just being so nasty and unhelpful. I lost my cool, and that's not good for me. I don't like doing that. And so, like I say, I've worked in those industries, and I know what it's like to have somebody yelling and screaming at you, and it sucks. But they need to know the law, and that's bottom line. So, positive note, I start flying lessons soon. Let me know in the comments if you want to see my first lesson, and I'll try and make sure that I've got some video footage of my first lesson. I'm going to be doing microlights, so I'm not doing GA aircraft, I'll be doing microlights. Some of the new microlights out are absolutely amazing. One that I'm looking at for down the track, I should be able to get maybe 100 kilos of baggage on board with 2 passengers. So yeah, these things are pretty phenomenal aircraft, so really looking forward to getting into that and potentially showing you guys, if you're interested, what I've been up to. Anyway, that's the end of the video, and thank you very much for sticking to the end and listening to me whinge and gripe and moan. If you really want to see what's coming up, make sure you subscribe. Like I say, that really helps me out heaps, guys. And in the meantime, keep the rubber side down, and God bless. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.